Hello Running Fit fam, in this video I want to talk to the beginner new-ish runners. That means if you have been running from less than a year to up to 2 to 3 years, I want you to listen up. I have created a hip mobility circuit just for you because a lot of times with new runners, we think that we just have to suffer through the soreness, the hip tightness, because you've probably experienced tight, achy, sore, stiff hips as you increase your mileage and or increase your pace. You need to know you don't have to suffer through this. I pulled together some exercises for you to try that aren't too intense, but will still get the job done because you don't have to live with that to call yourself a real runner. So let's hop in.
Grab yourself a mat and we'll get started. The first exercise is a prone army crawl with a hip internal rotation pulse. It's exactly what you see here. You just lie on your forearms, bring this one knee up to your side, and gently pump that foot up. I had my hand up as a little marker. That way I could visually see where I needed my foot to go. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to. Now, what I want you to pay attention to here is you can kind of tell how high this leg, my right leg, is going compared to my left. For some reason, my left hip is a little stiff today. So if you find that with yourself, that is okay. The point of this exercise is to work into a type of hip rotation called hip internal rotation. We can go deeper into that into another video, but just know for now, it's very important. Next up is a variation on a shin box or a hip 90-90. Here, I'm just showing you, just let your knees fall to one side. That is the 90-90 motion. Now, this part is adding the frog bridge on top of it because you can gain new hip mobility, but if you don't teach your body how to use it, that's how you lose it. So this is a way to create this internal hip motion and also set it in place so your body knows how to use it for your runs to come. Pulling the next one out of the archives. This is a high plank hip swivel. For starters, just get in the high plank, bring one knee to your chest, and swing that knee between both elbows. Once you're comfortable with that, speed up. What you're doing here isn't so much about your core, but it's about rotating around the hip joint. What's happening here is that leg that is straight, that is strong and holding you up, that hip joint is fixed. When you swing your knee between your elbows, you are moving around that femoral head, that part of your hip joint. You are actually gaining hip mobility here and working your core. Last drill, I promise it's not as scary as it looks. You're gonna find that 90-90 position again and walk those feet back so one foot is behind you. From here, you're gonna add some runner arms and you're gonna reach up as you move quickly from the seated position to this on your knee frog bridge position. What we're doing here is we are continuing to work into these deep hip rotations, and then by sitting up and moving quickly and dynamically, you are helping your body keep the mobility you just created. Because what's the point of making it and then you can't use it?
Thank you so much for watching Running Fit Fam. Even if you're not a new-ish or beginner runner, sometimes it is very helpful and effective to go back to easier exercises like this. They might be easy, but they're basic in the best way possible. A lot of times we get very excited to move on to the next big thing, the next great mobility exercise. And in the long run, that more advanced mobility exercise doesn't actually help us because we haven't laid a good foundation for it to begin with. So you might actually experience better mobility, less cranky tight hips by using some of these exercises and then sticking around, because in a couple weeks we're going to come back and we're going to progress all of these hip exercises we've done today. So subscribe, hang out so we can talk and do this more often and dare to train differently.